Remember 6 episodes ago when Locke was shown that Cooper appeared on the island? Well, what happened after that is the flashback for this episode. First, Cooper bites him, explaining the injury on his hand that we saw in the scene with Kate. Not that this makes any sense considering what Cooper thinks is going on right now. We catch up a few days later and hey look, it's Cindy the flight attendant in a complete filler role that could have gone to any random other. She even says, "We've been waiting for you," hinting that she might have always been an other and Ben sent her on the plane to make sure it crashed. That would have been a neat twist, except that there's never any other indication that it's true and she remains a giant question mark. Ben is listening to Juliet's tape from the last episode and tells Locke that next she's going to find out if anyone else is pregnant so the others can kidnap them.
We're the good guys, Michael.
Trust me, no one will get hurt.
Oh, so that makes it okay, does it? Would you like to ask, say, Elizabeth Smart what she thinks of that? Ben also reveals that right when Locke showed up, his legs started to recover. Why, when there was no progress before? Not explained. Now, a little explanation before this next part. Lindelof and Cuse have actually admitted that when they came up with the magic box idea we heard about in The Man from Tallahassee, the idea was that it was a literal magic box that Cooper came out of thanks to Locke. But then they realized they couldn't actually show that on screen without it looking silly, so they added this line.
The magic box is a metaphor, John.
And did you really have to use such a condescending delivery there, Michael Emerson? Because all that does is make the audience feel insulted, like the "eat your brain" line from Heroes. Plus, this also means that Ben's lines insisting that Locke brought Cooper to the island no longer make any sense, but they're still in the episode anyway. Nice proofreading, guys. That night, Ben tells Locke that to completely open himself up to the island, or whatever bullshit the writers felt like that week, he has to kill Cooper. You may recall that the last time we saw Locke, he was telling Kate that the others wouldn't accept her because she killed her father, who was just as bad as Cooper. So, there you have it. They are a bunch of dirty hypocrites.
We're the good guys, Michael.
Although, hell, I can easily see these guys thinking Kate's father was a good person. We've already had her mother acting like a Chris Brown fangirl after all. Locke can't do it for no reason I can see, and we see that the 2 kids are also there. Just like Cindy, this is completely meaningless and they don't even get any lines. They just flew these 2 back to Hawaii to just stand there for a few seconds, then walk off and get their paychecks. Richard tells Locke that Ben is threatened that Locke could take over the others and set the whole thing up to publicly humiliate him. Richard himself wants Locke to take over and remind the others what they're really on the island for. And what would that be again? But he also says Cooper has to die for that to happen, so them being hypocrites for condemning Kate's killing of her father still stands. He also suggests Sawyer as someone who could do it if Locke can't. Hey Richard, just tell him Cooper's a sacrifice that the island demands, that should do the trick. Then Ben says the others are leaving him and Cooper behind.
Well, you can't leave me. After everything,
Don't
you can't
tell me what I can't do, John.
Too freaking shay. I love that moment. And with that, we're back in real time. Kate has sex with Sawyer again and then just leaves because she's so romantic and all. Sawyer's not too depressed because, hey, consequence-free sex. He almost catches Hurley and Jin sneaking Naomi into a tent and then finds Locke coming back. He says he was undercover with the others and just kidnapped Ben. This is before we see most of the flashback, so we're supposed to actually believe that, but seriously, was anyone actually fooled by this? And he even brings up the guy Sawyer killed again, which raises the question of how the others knew about that. Charlie wants to tell Jack about Naomi, but Desmond lays out the whole case for why he doesn't exactly seem very trustworthy. Ah, good, the world makes sense again. Shut up, Charlie. There's a little scene reminding us of Sawyer's backstory, and then Sawyer reveals he doesn't trust Locke at all. You know Jack would have just blindly followed this anywhere. But then Locke only says that he can't kill Ben himself, no other explanation, and Sawyer buys it. You had it, and you lost it. Desmond says they need to bring in someone they really can trust, so what a surprise, they go right to Sayid. Nice to see some of these people are learning. And then Sayid approves of not telling Jack. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, even the other heroes are turning on him. Naomi tells him her story. Remember the very end of Season 2 when Penny was revealed to be looking for Desmond and we all got really excited about how it could impact Season 3? Well, now that this season's almost over, that's finally coming back as Naomi's part of the search team and took off from a freighter nearby only for her helicopter to suddenly malfunction once she got near the island. Sayid provides more proof that he should be the hero when he doesn't just buy her story until he sees the phone. Locke takes Sawyer to the Black Rock, which is a noticeably different color than the last time we saw it. How the hell did they screw that up? They really try to play up the idea that it's Ben rather than Cooper inside like anyone would actually buy it, and then Locke locks them in together. Saeed fixes the phone, but there's interference blocking any transmissions they could make. Remember Danielle's signal that's been playing for 16 years? Might be a good place to start. Anyway, Kate finds them and doesn't buy Hurley saying they found the phone in the luggage just now. I would have given about 50-50 odds on that. And you know Jack would have just bought it. Danielle comes in the Black Rock for dynamite, and it's really hilarious how her reaction to what's going on is pretty much, yeah, this is too weird even for me. Cooper tells Sawyer that he was in a car accident which the others used to bring him to the island, but since he thinks Locke is dead, he's under the impression that they're all in hell. He also talks about the names he's used on his jobs, including Tom Sawyer, which gets Sawyer to figure out that he's the guy who ruined his family. And this might have been a bit more effective if only it wasn't so obvious since we first met the guy. But that doesn't take anything away from the moment we've been waiting for since we first learned Sawyer's backstory, when he's finally able to give the letter he wrote as a kid to the original Sawyer. It's been a long time coming, and for once the wait is justified because this is a scene that deserved the build-up. And then Sawyer kills him with the chains and Locke comes in.
Thank you.
Right, because this is all about you, asshole. Kate goes to Jack about Naomi, but when he refuses to not let Juliet hear about it, she pretty much has the verbal equivalent of hate sex, spilling the whole story just to spite him with the fact that everyone thinks he's working for the others. Juliet starts talking about some secret they should tell Kate, but Jack refuses because that's how you get people to trust you again. Idiot. Locke tells Sawyer about the attack the others are going to make and gives him Juliet's tape to show everyone as proof that she's a mole. He can't tell them himself because he's bringing Cooper's body back to the others because they seem like the kind of people you want to get in good with, don't they? My score for the Brig is 10 out of 10. I still remember going on the message boards after it aired and seeing everyone so happy over the fact that something had actually happened on the show. How your standards drop when you're a regular viewer of something like this. But regardless, it still works very well as the culmination of a storyline that's been going since the show started. It's also very gratifying to see the show actually acknowledge how stupidly Jack is acting, and I couldn't wait for the next episode just to see his reaction to how completely wrong he was this whole time. But sadly, well, you'll see.